up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
Welcome to Spitballin. Here's part 2 with Ali Peak.
All right. So your last year is your best year in college because you don't have to deal with coaching. So then how do you go from there to getting recruited to play professionally?
Well, okay. Oh man. Okay, go ahead. Good. This is your story. I can't tell it.
So and this is where things get confusing because no, this is great. It's a crazy story, man. So I'm rehabbing my knee. By this time, basketball's done. My basketball career is over with.
Right. Are you depressed?
No, I was happy.
Yeah.
Reggie, how did most of us feel? I remember how Mahershala felt when the season was over with. How did we feel?
Oh, it was like, oh, I'm good. I'm done. We felt free.
It was over. We were the happiest that we could ever be.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like we got released.
Shit anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like he would do shit like this. See, I can't. Sorry, I know you want to get to this point.
You're fine, dude.
No,
it's fine.
Like you've conjured up all these so I got to tell you, he would be like, guys, I'm giving you. I like you guys have been practicing pretty well, blah blah blah, whatever. But I'm giving you guys a day off tomorrow. But you have film session at fucking 1:00. That would fuck your day up. Most of us we want to go see our girl, or we want to go, you know what I'm saying? Like
we're right in the middle of the day.
We want to get as far away from the fucking campus as we could possibly get.
Right.
And no one calls us. No one.
Right.
I don't want to see a coach. I don't want to watch film. I don't want to do shit. I want to get the fuck away from you guys.
Yeah, it's a free day. Can I be free?
That's how we all felt.
Yes.
Wow.
Crazy, man.
It's crazy.
All of us.
Yes.
You would fuck us like that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But
I'll say this. I remember after we graduated and you went back home or you went back down south for a while. And I remember there was a couple things, because like you said, it was a confusing time. I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember there was one time where you're thinking of potentially becoming a fireman, right?
It was everything. It was,
right. And then there was another time where you were thinking of potentially becoming a stuntman.
Yeah. You want to, that's like crossroads. It's like an understatement, right? Like, so this is what it was. Okay, so when did we graduate? May?
Yep.
April? So it was about
May 24th.
I'm working. By this time, I've gotten I've gotten my studies under control. Like I'm on top of things. I'm doing well. It's probably the best I've ever done in years, right?
Right.
I'm enjoying myself on campus. I get a phone call from Coach Kent, right? And I go to his office, and he just says, "What are you doing when you after your graduation?" And I'm kind of confused. I said, "Well, I'm thinking of joining the military." Mm-hmm. He said, "I want you to write these numbers down." He goes, "I just got off the phone with your high school coach." Okay. So, between the junior year and senior year, coach did not want me back. Didn't want me back.
Right.
I remember we were all talking about this. AJ said, "Ali, you might want to talk to people at the school to know your rights and write stuff down." I remember that we were in our dorm room, Mockley and I. And I remember, I don't know if you were there, but I know Mockley was there, and both of you guys agreeing, saying, yeah, you better write some stuff down. That's exactly what I did.
Right.
Wrote all the stuff down. I remember a woman talking to me from the school. She's saying, "First of all, you earned that scholarship, Ali. He has no right to take that scholarship away from you."
And yes, that's what I was going to say earlier. Sal, you don't know this, but go ahead, Ali.
So, okay, I'm going to fast forward to the middle of the summer. That summer was one of the worst summers I've ever had because I had the knee surgery. He's doing everything that he could possibly do to get rid of me, to take my scholarship away from me. He's playing mind games with my parents now. So he'd be like, all right, Mrs. Peak, Mr. Peak, we finished this conversation. I'm going to call you guys back this coming Friday. We're waiting by the phone because we're trying to figure out what his decision is going to be or whatever. Like, he just kind of allowed us to kind of suffer a little bit. So Friday would come along. Nothing from him. Saturday, nothing from him. Sunday, nothing from him. Then he'd call on Monday evening. I'm telling my high school coach about this, and he goes, that's fucked up. Like, that wasn't the first time he did it. He did it like 2 or 3 times during that whole summer. And my high school coach goes, you know, he's not putting in consideration how your mom stresses out. Your mom's beside herself right now, you know, and he's doing this stuff to you. Like, it was a mess. It was a mess. And, you know, I remember my dad got into it with him. They're going back and forth. My dad is cussing his ass out.
Good for your pops.
Like, he goes, my son gave you 3 years of his life, coach. That's got to account for something. He goes, well, you know, I'm looking at the stats, and, you know, he's looking at performance. He's basing it on performance, you know. And yeah, okay, my performance wasn't all that great. It wasn't great at all.
Well, but he had control of that, right? You can't perform if you're not on the court.
He had control of it. He said, I couldn't trust Ali. You know, he'd forget plays, and, you know, I forgot plays.
Whatever. Yeah.
He goes, yeah, but, you know, you're dealing with kids. You're dealing with young men trying to make it in the world, into the real world, and blah blah blah. You know, my dad was really trying to defend me, but, you know, push came to shove, and the athletic department took over. And
Rick Mazzuto
basically put Coach Kent in a bind to where Coach Kent had to compromise and say, okay, the deal was, I don't remember all the details, but bottom line was, Ali's not going to play anymore for me, but he retains a scholarship and he could just graduate.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me just say this. For anybody who's listening, the scholarship that you are awarded when you get to college, it's guaranteed for 4 years. They can't take it from you. You have to, now we signed every year, we signed the scholarship, but they can't not offer you the scholarship, right? The only way you can not have the scholarship is if you choose to give it up. So Ernie knew that, right? His whole thing was he had to get you to want to give it up, but he couldn't actually take it from you.
I fucked him a little bit though, because and I got some advice from my high school coach. And he was just like, look, man, this guy's trying to fuck you over. He goes, he doesn't want you to get he does not want you to get the surgery or something like that. It was something about the surgery. He's not, okay. He's basing his decision on having you re-sign that scholarship on whether or not you get the surgery. So don't get the surgery yet.
Okay.
And so I remember on the phone, Ernie Kent talking to me and my parents saying, hey, so Ali, how's that knee coming along? I go, it's fine, coach, getting stronger. And I felt so guilty, right?
That's all right.
They send me the scholarship. I sign that shit. Coach Kent, my high school coach goes, good. Now sign it, send that shit back, blah, blah, blah. Now you're locked in. Now go get the surgery. That's exactly what I did.
And I remember that.
I'm gonna tell you, Reggie, Coach Kent was hot, man. He was pissed. He called back right away after I got the surgery. And he's like, I want to know, like, you know, he doesn't think we're smart. He's like, who's telling you to do all this stuff? I want to know. Where's this coming from? You know, he just kept, you know, like I go, and I remember asking my high school coach, what if he asked me those questions? He goes, my high school coach goes, you tell him you're worried about your health. That's your right. You're worried about your health. Don't worry about what he says. You signed the scholarship. He can't do shit about it anymore.
Yep.
It's technically, it's not his scholarship to give. It's the school.
It's the schools.
Yeah.
And yep.
So,
and they can only take it from you.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
Man,
if you
it's
break
crazy.
the
This guy
rules.
psychologically fucked with so many college kids his
dude.
whole career.
Honestly, man, look, I could get 5 guys on here, and it could just be the Ernie Kent parade of
Sal, there's
like,
dudes. I know. Look, Sal, man, I know. We got to transition to the overseas,
Hey,
dude, man. This is like we got to do another episode, man. Because
no, this is a two-parter.
Work, man. He's a piece of work, dude. Like
he's a piece of work.
There's guys that didn't even play for him. Post Ernie Kent, post like guys that graduated and played for Randy Bennett. They know about Ernie Kent.
Yeah,
wow.
That's how bad it is.
That's how bad
That's
it is.
crazy,
man.
dude.
This dude is next level. Well, okay,
I mean, I know it's not the same, but it does kind of feel like, the priest who goes too far and they move him to another campus and then all the effects.
Hey, look,
20 years later, we're hearing about.
Hey man, I will just say this: when Ernie, I'll say this: when Ernie got to Oregon after he left St. Mary's in '97, he had two NBA prospects on that team, and he went in with that same bullshit. And those guys basically went in the office and was like, "Look, man, either you change the way you conduct business, or we're out of here." Right? And if Oregon, the university, would have lost Luke Rittenauer and Freddie Jackson, which both were drafted in the NBA, if they would have lost them based on their head coach, then he would have been out. They would.
So you're saying he had a change in Oregon, maybe?
He had to change in Oregon just for a little while, right? And
then what ended up happening? Did he stop doing Oregon? He's not coaching anymore. Is that what happened?
He ended up. Yeah, well, he okay. So to be fair, he did have a few Elite Eight appearances with.
Yeah, he went far. Once
with
he loosened the
Oregon
reins, yeah, he's the most winningest coach in Oregon history at one point.
Wow.
But he had to let go. Yeah, he had to let go. But hey, look, man,
you guys were like the first stepchild or whatever. They got beat and shit, and then they finally.
Well, but see,
school.
no, because he reverted back to his old ways. He had to change up his style at Oregon.
He can't help himself.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he can't help himself. It's like you ever hear the story about the frog and the scorpion? Right? No. Neither one of you guys know that story?
No, who's ever heard that story?
So the first time I ever heard this story, it was because of Jamoki. Jamoki used to have this tattoo of a frog with a scorpion on top of it. And I go, what's that about? And he goes, it's basically like this fable. So the scorpion comes up to the river bank and he sees a frog. And he goes, hey, frog, take me across the river or I'm going to sting you and kill you, right? And the frog goes, hey, man, what if I take you out there, you're going to sting me, right? And the scorpion goes, no, I'm not. If you take me across the river, if I sting you while we're underway, then we both drown or we both die, right? So now the frog has no choice. The frog is like, okay, so scorpion crawls on the frog's back. The frog is swimming across the river. He gets halfway across the river and then bam, the scorpion stung him. And the frog goes, hey, man, why would you do that? Now we're both going to die. And the scorpion goes, hey, man, I'm a scorpion. That's what I do, right? I am who I am. I can't be anybody else. Ernie Kent is a scorpion. He may change up what he does for a little while, but in the end, he is who he is. And he's going to do what he does. And he did that. And then he ended up getting kicked out of Oregon.
Wow.
Narcissistic behavior at its finest.
Yep.
For sure.
Wow.
Yep, absolutely.
Not only that, man. I mean, when to take it a step further, I mean, we could take it a step further, right, Reg?
Yeah.
It's fucking around with students on campus at St. Mary's and and
Oregon.
Here's where it gets.
I wasn't gonna go there.
I'll fucking go there. Fuck that. Here's this is what gets me because it's bullshit.
Right.
Fuck, I might get sued.
No, yeah, I'm like, don't say anything. Don't say anything too much.
You're not gonna get sued? No.
It could be libel, slander, whatever.
Each is own. There's nothing against professors getting involved with students. Why not? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's your business. I'm not trying to defame him or anything like that. Okay. But I'm just stating facts.
It's facts.
I only heard about what happened in Oregon, but for sure I know what happened at St. Mary's College. So I'm not going to talk about Oregon. I'm going to disclaim and I'm going to backtrack with the whole Oregon thing, but with St. Mary's, absolutely 100%. And the interesting thing about that, he had his code of ethics that he would deploy on us.
Yep.
This is how you should behave. This is how you should act. This, and that. I mean, the hypocrisy.
Oh, dude, what is it? It's that old school parenting. Do as I say and not like I do. Right.
Yeah, this is like Bill Cosby and Hannibal Buress took him down. Like you're telling how people how to live, and then you gotta check what you're doing.
And you know what? That was Bill's biggest problem, is that when he started talking about young people and your clothes and the way you carry yourself and how you talk the language, like young people was like, well, hold up, let's go see what you be doing.
Yeah, here's your hypocrisy.
Ooh. So EK, there you go.
Wow. So he hasn't coached since Oregon. That was it.
Well, no. He coached
at Washington
Oregon
State, right?
He coached at Washington State. And even at Washington State, and I'm gonna throw this out there, at Washington State, he went and got his old staff. He went and got Greg Graham, and he got Coach Sylvie Dominguez, who all the former players at St. Mary's, anybody who played under Coach D, and I would think this is true for any program that he was at Utah, USC, Lamar, wherever Coach D has been. Coach D has always been that guy where the players really connect to. Coach D is a guy that I still talk to this day, right? He would check on me. I would check on him. We send text messages, their calls randomly or, sporadically. But Coach D is a guy that's been from the beginning very sincere and real and genuine. And the connection is palpable, and it goes both ways. So when he got to Washington State, he brought in Coach D and Coach Graham. But the program was underperforming. Ernie, they just weren't doing as well. So Ernie then basically threw Greg and Coach D under the bus, saying that they were outdated, they were antiquated, they weren't up on the times, they couldn't connect with the students or the current athletes. He basically got rid of them. It was like ageism. And I told Coach D this. I go, dude, that's discrimination. That's age discrimination. He can't do that, right? And and this is the last thing I'll say about that. Coach Graham and Ernie Kent, they played together at Oregon. They were best friends. They were on the team that beat UCLA when UCLA was undefeated, when John Wooden was coaching them. They were thick as thieves. Wherever Ernie went, Coach Graham was at St. Mary's with Ernie. Ernie went to Oregon. Coach Graham was at Oregon with Ernie. Coach Graham finally got his own head coaching job at Boise State. When that ended for him, and Coach Kent was at when Ernie was at Washington State, he brought Coach Graham in. And I'm saying right now, based on how things played out at Washington State, Coach Graham is now on some fuck that dude, right? Like Coach Graham won't even talk about him. He ain't fucking with him. He don't want to talk about him. He don't want to have nothing to do with him. So this dude has successfully lost his probably his only and best friend in his entire life, right? Who was on something like, I ain't messing with that dude. I don't talk to him. Don't even talk to me about him, right? So yeah, he's a Scorpion, bro. He is who he is. He can't be with who he is. So all right, but I know Ali. I know you got an appointment coming up soon, right? Because I got one too at 1. But
at 1:30 is my appointment. Actually,
okay, so I'm at 1. I will say that inside you can cut that out in post or whatever. But so even with
great.
Even I kind of got my emotions. I got carried away.
That's great, dude.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But so the point I want to get back to this is, despite everything that happened at St. Mary's, despite that happened with EK, the knee, the whole thing, you still were able to accomplish and to pursue the thing that you're really good at, right? Like, I mean,
how'd you? Yeah, it just seems so crazy. Like you seem like your career's going nowhere.
Yeah.
And then how does that change? What happens?
Ernie Kent. That's why it's so weird, I got so many different emotions about that guy. Well, I got 2 emotions about that guy. One, if I don't talk to him for the rest of my life, I'm good. But at the same time, he didn't have to give me those numbers. He said, I want you to contact your high school coach because your high school coach has he said your high school he brought up, so my high school coach is friends with a guy by the name of Maury Hanks. Maury Hanks is an agent. He used to represent Harvey Grant, Horace Grant's twin brother. Mm-hmm. So that's where we got the ball rolling. He said, how's your knee? Ernie Kent, how's your knee? Make sure you get your knee in shape. He goes, when I played overseas, I was an import. but there were guys that were American citizens, but they had lineage in the countries that I played in based on their historical background. He said, your mother's Filipino, right? He goes, what you can do once you get your knee back in shape is possibly play as a local player, not as an import, but as a local player in the Philippines.
Because of the lineage.
Yeah, so we kind of went
dual
back.
citizenship.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that, you know. So like I said, my overall emotion about Ernie Kent, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to be stressed out. But then I always think about that. He didn't have to do that. And why did he do that? I think because there's always angles to Coach Kent. It's not like I'm just going to do this for you just to do it for you.
Out of the kindness of my heart.
The angle that I think about is that he knows that my high school coach, Coach Trevor Wilson, who ended up playing at UCLA, got drafted into the NBA. My high school coach knows so many people on the collegiate level, and he's worked with Jim Herrick. He's worked with Paul Westhead at Loyola Marymount when he was at Loyola Marymount. Mm-hmm. My high school coach has a large network in the Southland, and I think that's what that reason was.
Okay.
Oh, because then he'd owe him. I see. I see.
Let me just.
He doesn't want the word to spread about what happened,
right?
Because he knows
right.
The coach doesn't play around. My high school coach was going to warn everybody about Mr. Kent.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, just to piggyback that, and we'll get back to yours. Our junior year, when I was also thinking about leaving, right? When he came to me, you and Mockley and whatever, he was like, I don't, you know, especially he said to me, I don't know if you want to come back. I don't know if I want you to come back, but something has to change, whatever. One of the reasons why he didn't go hard on trying to get me out was because he wanted to maintain a relationship with my JC coach, with Percy Carr, because recruitment, because out of my JC, I mean, look, when I came out, I signed with San Diego State. We had another guy signed with Cincinnati. And then the year after me, we had another guy signed with Xavier. We had a guy signed with Oregon State. We were putting guys out into programs that could play. And I'm telling you right now, as much as Coach Carr loved me, like the relationship that I had with Coach Carr, there was no way that if Ernie Kent screwed me over, right, that Percy would even would even consider sending anybody else to St. Mary's. In fact, he could talk to the other JC coaches and be like, look, this is a guy he's not a guy that you want to send your players to. Because Ernie had, I remember going to St. Mary's. I saw you guys play my sophomore year when I was at City, because you guys played against Boise State. And there were two guys that went to San Jose City, Sherman Darnell, who played for Boise State, that played at San Jose City. So we went to that game and watched them play against you guys, right? And that was because, you know, so yeah, it's not surprising that Ernie's has ulterior motives. It's never out of the kindness of his heart, right?
Yeah. All right, so you moved to the Philippines. Is this what's gonna?
Well, no, he gets drafted first. He's the third draft pick.
Oh my God! So you guys came prepared.
I wanted to find a picture of you and Manny Pacquiao standing next to each other. I have that one actually.
Yeah.
Let me see. Here's another one I saw. I don't know if. So wait, so the Philippines would draft you, huh?
Yeah, he was drafted the third pick, third overall pick. Yeah.
So, no, what happened was I
talking text. Yeah.
I think it was October. October is when I got a call because I was 21 at the time, and the rules in the Philippines is that you have to be 23 in order to play PBA.
Interesting. Okay.
So they wanted me to, you know, I had to go play in the pro amateur league there, which really consists of guys at the time that had retired from the PBA, that were still trying to keep their careers alive, whatever. It's almost like the G League.
Okay.
So if I could do well there, then, you know, I should be able to get a job. And that's exactly what happened. So 96 was the year. I played there for about 4 months, and then I came back to the States. They offered me, instead of a 3-month contract, they extended it. They wanted me to play for 6 months, get me ready for the PBA draft. But I freaked out because I was in love.
Who was this? Who
Carla.
was?
Remember Carla?
No, I don't remember Carla.
Remember? Latina?
Oh, wait, you met her at St. Mary's.
Met her at St. Mary's.
Yes, I do remember Carla now that you mentioned her. Holy cow.
So that whole year, I'm in and out of different types of jobs and stuff. I even enlisted in the military. I enlisted into the Navy.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Did that, but then all of a sudden, a month before I was to report to boot camp. It was January, beginning of January. I was supposed to report to boot camp a couple of days before my birthday in February. I get this contract. I get a call from my agent who represented me the first time. And he said, Ali, I got a 3-year contract proposal for you. It's pretty good money. I think you need to take a look at it. So I'm just like, God damn, I just swore an oath, did all that shit.
Did you take the physical and stuff? Like, are you locked in? Like,
locked in, man. You know what I was going to be? I was going to be I was going to be in search and recovery off an aircraft carrier. I was going to, those divers that dive off the chopper and recover, and because I had a swimming background.
Yeah. Of course.
All right.
Go, if a down craft in the ocean, I'd go, Top Gun, remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
That
absolutely.
guy, I'd be that guy.
Yeah.
So I trained for that. I had to swim. I think you got to swim like 50, you have to swim a certain amount of laps nonstop under 55 minutes or something like that. Yeah, okay. 55 minutes complete.
Wow.
Like 60 something laps or something.
And you did that shit.
You do that shit nonstop for almost an hour?
Nonstop.
Oh my God.
He was any stroke you want. So I was mixing it up. I was freestyle. You do freestyle, you're gonna gas out. Right. So I was doing the dog paddle. I was doing the freestyle. I was doing the backstroke. I was doing most of it was the breaststroke, but I knew that I was faster than most guys. So I completed it. I finished it under an hour.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Incredible, dude. Like, yeah, that's okay. So I'm not surprised.
I knew that I was going to be okay once I report to boot camp. So anyways, I get this street. So I talked to my military recruiter, and things fall in the right place, man. She was a classmate of Mitch McMullen, the guy that played at San Diego State. They were 10 years older than I was. She went to the same high school as I did. And
wow.
Her older brother played for the Minnesota Vikings, who went to the same high school. And she completely understood where I was coming from. I said, I'm in a big dilemma here. She goes, don't worry, my ex-husband played basketball overseas. I totally understand where you're coming from. You're not going to get a dishonorable discharge, because that's what I was scared of. They scared you. They said, once you swear, then they tell you all the shit. Then they hit you with, if you decide to go back on your decision, you get a dishonorable discharge, and that is equivalent to a felony on your record. Jeez. Right. So I was scared of that. And then she said, no, you're not going to get a felon. You're not going to get that on your record. I go, I'm not. She goes, no, because you have not gone to boot camp yet. Once you're on the premises and you start boot camp and you decide that you don't want to be there, that's when they get you. Okay. So she let me in a little secret. She said, you will get this something discharge, but it's not, you're only running the risk of not being able to join the military ever again.
Darn.
Yes. Yeah, I think I can live with that, right? Yeah. So I applied for the PBA draft. And then I signed the contract for the next 3 years. Carla was pissed because she wanted only 2 years. We both agreed that we're going to save up money and come back after 3 years. That shit didn't happen.
Wait, hold up. Carla went with you.
Carla, she came to visit me. My second year, she was living with me. Mm-hmm. Then she realized that this wasn't for her. So she went back and she pursued her goals, which was fine. We still maintained this long distance relationship, but Reggie, man,
you're a professional baller.
I wrecked her, man.
Oh, she had a hard.
I mean, we're still friends to this day.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we contacted each other. Rest in peace to Jacoby.
Yeah.
Because Jacoby used to date one of her roommates, and we all used to hang out with each other all the time.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Jacoby was the one dropping, like, he was the one telling me stuff about you know who.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every time I came to visit the Bay Area, he was like, "Hey, man, I got some shit to tell you."
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Hey, what were you doing, man? He goes, Ali, I was on the phone dying. I'm not going to mention his name.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I go there a little bit, or is it just inappropriate?
Nah, we'll
go, baby, go.
No,
I'm
we'll
confused.
keep that.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, hold on. I'll say this.
Sorry, we'll leave it alone.
Yeah, we'll leave just because. Gotta remember, this is a podcast, so it's gonna go out, right?
I know. Yeah.
And some people, it's like it's inside stuff. But I'll just put it like this: I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so
that's all I'm gonna say. They used to have phone sex.
Yes, I know. And
the girl recorded the whole session.
Wow. Wow.
And everything that was coming out of that person's mouth.
Wow. Oh my God.
I go, Jacoby, were you dying? He goes, Ali, I was on the floor laughing.
Yes.
I did 1,000 sit-ups. I could not stop laughing.
Well, he had certain proclivities, right? There are certain things that he liked, that he wanted done, right? That he wanted to talk about. But we won't.
Don't get sued, man. I don't get sued.
Yeah, you and I will talk about that later, because I want to laugh at that too, personally. But so so Carla, so you're there, and Carla, it's not for her, and you guys try to do a thing for a while, long distance, but it's just difficult. Young people.
We went on until 2002 is when we finally, like, when we said, hey, we can't do this anymore.
Okay.
So we tried to really hold on,
right.
But
I mean, are you able to stay faithful when you're a professional basketball player in the Philippines?
Wait, hold on. What?
Yeah.
It's just hard.
I came clean, I told her, I said, hey, look, and it was a mess, man, because we were supposed to get married. I apologized to her family.
Wow. You apologize to her family.
I manned up, man. I manned up, and I mean,
you still wanted to be with her?
Props to you for that, dude. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, it's one thing to apologize to the person, but you guys have been together for so long, and I'm sure that your lives were kind of intertwined. Her family, I'm sure they loved you. You're a great guy, right?
We don't talk to this day, but we like each other's posts.
Okay.
Stuff like that. That's as far as it goes.
Okay. Well, and look, I think it's hard to ask anybody, right, to be that far away, to be in a relationship, and to be young, to be an athlete, to be in great shape. It's like you're on your own and you're lonely, right? And it's not even necessarily that you're out looking for a particular thing. It may just be looking for companionship, right? Or you're looking for
did you still want to
with.
be, like, if you didn't want to be in a relationship anymore, you're like, yo, now I'm in the Philippines, let me take advantage of this opportunity?
It was all I'm gonna say, man, it was I made a lot of bad decisions, and it was I wasn't living a clean life, man. That's what
okay.
I wasn't.
So you were there for a long time. When does that change as you're there in your career?
Yeah. Because that was really in the 20s.
Okay.
Just being stupid. You're being immature. Not to mention, you've got all these things around you. All these distractions, all these temptations, and then you got older people coming up to you. You telling you, hey, man, don't be afraid to stop and smell the roses.
Right.
24, 25 years old, and you're like, what the hell is he talking about? What do you and then things are just coming at you. I'm not making any excuses, but I did make decisions that, I shouldn't have made. But, I'm just glad that, Carla and I remain friends to this day.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I know everyone has their own opinion about these things, and I think everyone's entitled.
Yeah.
I think at the time, whatever you're experiencing at that time is where you are. And there's certain life lessons that you can only learn by experiencing those things, right? So where you are now or who you are now is absolutely based on who you've been and what you've experienced. Like you can speak to it from a different perspective. That's why I was saying earlier, if you were to do a workshop talking to other young athletes about what their experience is now and what the experience could be, and looking at contracts and being conscious of or aware of what's happening, that comes from having that experience. Now, it's unfortunate someone got hurt, right? And I'm not trying to skirt by any of that, but you know, if you take a young person, you put them in another country, they're professional athlete, they're making good money, right? And there's just development and energy and the way that you're living, like the things that you're not a regular person walking in the street. Your games are televised. You're in phenomenal shape, right? You already have a certain amount of status just based on how you look, right? So then you take that and you couple that with notoriety, right? It's just, and people are drawn to people in positions of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In those certain positions. So it's asking a lot for anybody to experience life in some ways, right?
So the Philippines, you're dominant in this league? Is this happening? Because I mean, I'm reading, what is this? You winning stuff?
It was I did have I was pretty successful. But I will say, man, like, you know, we're undersized, right, Reggie?
Yeah.
And that didn't change once I got there.
Oh, really?
May have been this bigger this way, but it's made me look taller. But no, man, I was giving up, like, that's my dog. I was giving up like about 3 inches a night.
Right.
Damn.
So really, I'm 6'3.5". But so I was going up against guys that are 6'6", 6'5", 6'7", 6'8", 6'10", 7-footers occasionally.
Yeah.
So, and then what I will say about Philippine basketball, when I got out there, the guys were talented, no question. But it was like, I saw trainers trying to incorporate plyometrics, it's like they had learned from the States or from wherever, but it just wasn't absorbed. It just wasn't accepted. People kind of look at you crazy, like, what the hell is this?
Right.
What I will say is that over the time that I was there from 1998 until the end, 2014, I saw this change in preparation. So companies, particularly one of the companies was my company, the team that I played for, the owner invested hard in sending his athletes. He also was an investor in some of the younger generations, the schools, the major universities. And in major universities there, it's high school all the way up. Like, that's like going to Duke. You go to high school at Duke, and it's your decision if you want to play for the varsity team or you get recruited by North Carolina. So you went to high school at Duke University, but you play. That's how it is. That's how the system is.
Okay.
So he was tapping into the earlier stages, all the way up to college, and then professionals. And he was inviting NBA coaches to come in. He was inviting NBA players to come in. He was funding all these things. Other teams were doing it as well. The PBA itself would do it. NBA superstars would come in, and they would have seminars. They would have training sessions and stuff. Not only that, but also skills coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, nutritionists. So what I saw was us being ranked in the world between 60 and 70. Now all of a sudden we're ranked. Now we're like, we're pissed off if we don't make the world championships.
Okay.
That's where we're at now.
Right.
And so now you're having local players, not guys like me who are Filipino American, but local players who are being recruited to play, being signed to teams in Lithuania, teams in Japan, teams in Korea, teams in Middle East and stuff like that. So that's where Philippine basketball is going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
I got a chance to see the evolution of it. But I'm also proud because I was part of that.
Right. Man, well, you had a phenomenal career. I mean, 16 seasons, 6 championships, 5 all-star selections. I mean, those I feel like those are like Hall of Fame numbers for the Philippines, right? Like, or close to it, right?
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
there a Philippines Hall of Fame?
there is. There is.
Really?
They base it off of MVP trophies, and I never got an MVP trophy.
Oh, God.
That's how they like. That's overall. That's how they do it. Like
Okay.
there's a few players here and there that's very rare, but it's just rare, you know.
Okay. Well, I think your name should be on the ballot every year, right? Even if it's just one of those things.
That'd be great. But I was a guy that shook the boat, you know.
Right.
When I got into media, when I got into sports broadcasting, I was a bit too honest to the point that they suspended me for about 3 months with no pay.
Really? I didn't know that. We didn't talk about that.
Too honest about what's happening in the game or whatever?
I criticize. Okay, so there's this the All-Star game. What they do is they split it up into northern part of the Philippines and southern part of the Philippines. Players that their hometowns are from the north, players' hometowns from the south, right? So to me, I'm like, it's a damn All-Star game. Why are you why do you need only 12 players? It's an All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
So just out on those two, they deserve to be there. There's two players in mind. One of them was averaging 23 points off the bench, and he was doing it. I remember the numbers. He was doing it under 17 minutes per game. That's remarkable.
Wow. Yes.
His team was in the mid pack in his conference, but I'm like, dude, you can't overlook. Just think of the efficiency this kid has.
Right.
Putting up 23, 24 points a game, and he's doing it coming off the bench under 17 minutes, and his team is doing okay.
Yeah.
But he gets denied. This other kid, who was actually my teammate, my last year, he's averaging 25 points a game. His team at the time was in the top 3, and he gets shunned. So I went. The problem with Asian basketball, there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of bias, and the Philippines can be no different. Yes, I've gotten awards, but I wasn't necessarily a favorite of the media. And the media is very powerful. The PBA press corps is very powerful. They're very influential. They will tell you that they have nothing to do with the selection of the All-Star voting, which can be true. I believe that, but they have a large influence on who they cover, who they write about, who they post on social media, which players they post on social media as opposed to another player. That's very influential. You cannot.
Right.
Even though it falls in the hands of the coaches, the fans, majority of it is the fans, and then a small majority is the coaches around the league. Well, if it's the fans and all they're seeing every single day in social media outlets is this particular player, who do you think they're going to be influenced?
Right.
It's kind of that dynamic.
Right.
Kind of that dynamic. And hey, look, I'm not complaining about it, but I was so frustrated about that I actually commented on another fellow sports broadcaster's post about how can this guy and this guy not be in the PBA All-Star game. It was nighttime, Reggie, Sal, I was drinking wine. I was a little tipsy. I just said what I wanted to fucking say.
Right.
Next thing I know, man, my manager's called me up at like 7:00 in the morning. Hey, what happened? I'm like, what do you mean? There's a lot of people tweeting about you. They're pissed off. I go, who? The press corps. About what? And it was a mess. And I was supposed to, that weekend, I was supposed to work the entire All-Star weekend. 3 days. I get a phone call from my boss. Hey, look, just we'll call you back. We got to do some. I'm trying
to control.
Yeah, I'm trying to save you right now. Just lay low. We'll call you. Dude, man, 3-4 months pass by. I get no phone call. That's money, you know. It was pretty, yeah. But then they finally got me back.
Oh man.
Wow.
The liquor gets you going. I mean,
That was 2017, 2018, because similar things happened to me. Now, here's the interesting thing about that. During my suspension, they don't tell you that you're suspended. They just don't call you, right?
Oh,
My wife works at the same broadcasting company, except she does news, So I would go pick her up every night, and we'd go home. And sometimes after I pick her up, we'd eat something in that area. And I remember running into other broadcasters, people behind the scenes coming up to me saying, Ali, what you said is true. What you said is true. Just want to let you know. So I mean, I said something like, because the thing is, there are players that like to bribe and kiss up to the press corps. It's been going on ever since I started. I know about it.
Right.
To get that extra vote so they can become defensive player of the year, or they become defensive team, whatever, shit like that, right? So I know it goes on. I know some of the players that have done it. So one of the guys that I worked with that works behind the scenes showed me a photo. He goes, you didn't see this from me, okay? Shows me a photo because he took the picture of pizza boxes and a note from an all-star player saying, thank you for helping me get such and such award. Press corps, PBA press corps.
Wow.
I've known this shit all along. And that's what I was talking about, the influence. And so I had colleagues coming up to me saying, hey, you're don't worry, you're right about what you said. You're right about what you said, yeah. But what I said, social media was harsh. I said, my friend, my colleague said, how can this such and such guy and this guy not get voted to the All-Star game and show their stats and their records? And I said, it's because you got to buy these motherfuckers pizza and ensamada, or even pay these motherfuckers under the table. That's why. And and I said, truth be told, I got fucked over a few times.
Oh,
that's what I said. And dude, man, a blitzkrieg on Twitter, it's just.
Man.
Some of those press corps members stopped following me. You know what's shitty about that? I forgot that some of the people that I work with, they have different job titles, and some of them were in the press corps. So I had to go back and apologize to some of those people.
Oh, yeah.
I was not going to retract my statement. My manager was trying to tell me to retract my statement. I said, no, I'm not doing that. No, not.
All right, I see you.
You don't do that to people. And I even got into it with one of the press corps saying, you've gotten many awards. He said, he brought up something like Lou Williams didn't make it to the All-Star game and you don't see him complaining. I said, no, it's not about him complaining or not complaining. It's about the amount of work that this guy puts in, the sacrifice that he makes. And because he's not someone that you like to write about or talk about, he doesn't get that oomph, that extra oomph.
Right.
Yeah.
Get him to accomplish something that he's probably always wanted to accomplish. He may not be complaining to you, but I'm pretty sure he's heard about it.
Or something that he's earned and deserves too, right?
So that was 2017, man. Yeah, I got some serious.
Okay.
Wow.
Man,
I mean, there's so much.
I know, and I got to get going too.
Did you read about I didn't know you have a bullet in your neck.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say we can't.
Fucking hey, this is a whole nother thing. You got.
I know.
So someone thought you were an assassination attempt, but it was a mistaken identity. Is that what happened?
I don't know, man. It's
so
such
were you? What happened? You were after a game.
All I'm gonna say is that remember, like, okay, so I had a few failed relationships in my life, and the year prior to that, I had been with my other girlfriend. After Carla, I had been in a 7-year relationship with this woman, and we ended up breaking up. And so that year, there was a lot of things that happened. That happened. And then I'll get to it, just bear with me. I get traded from the team that I just won a championship with. I get traded kind of confused as to why that happened,
Mm.
but I don't know yet. Or no, they don't tell me anything. All I know is we're going on this, we're going on a team building, team retreat to one of these beautiful resorts. And that's when I found out that another one of my teammates, Nick Velasco, remember him?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hits me up the night before we're about to leave. He goes, "Hey man, did you hear the news? We're getting traded." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, we're getting traded to a team that is disbanding and is going to exit the PBA." And so now I'm thinking, dude, this is my contract year. You know,
Right.
why are we going to this damn thing and they haven't told us yet? This is supposed to be team building. Why are you and I going to this thing? Why don't they tell us now? Confused about, and the whole time, man, they're like acting like everything's okay on the way to the thing. And anyway, to make a long story short, I end up getting traded. They say that they're going to extend my contract. Don't worry, because the team that's disbanding that you're getting traded to, we're gonna absorb that and create an expansion team, and you and Nick will be on that team, and we will sign you for another 2 years. Same pay. I was like, well, that's not bad. Okay, so after the trip, we come back. Nick calls me up again. He said, "Hey man, you better call up the general manager because they're trying to say that we never had that conversation."
What?
Yeah,
Dude, corruption.
so I called up the GM. Oh, no, I called up coach. I called up my coach and I said, "Hey, you know what?" He's like, yeah, that's not right. That's not right. Okay, fine. I'll get on the phone with him. I'll call you back. He never called me back. That's when I knew this is not going to happen.
Wow.
So I report, we get traded. I report to my new team, and I have 3 more months left in that contract, and then I'm on my own. I'm on my fucking own. So we play the team that traded me. I still have a lot of great friends on that team. I love that team. I'm hurt. I see the film and I'm disgusted with myself. Disgusted. So I hire a strength and conditioning coach. Media saying Ali's 35 years old. He's washed up. He's done. That's what people are saying now. I'm hearing it. People coming to me hearing it. So I tell myself, I take a hard look in the mirror. You know, why did your girlfriend cheat on you? Why is this happening to you? What are you going to do about it? You have to look at yourself and say, where did you mess up? So Reggie, man, I just went balls to the wall, man. Where it was to the point because I knew that the team that I was playing for, they were disbanding. You know what? People just came and went to practice. They weren't trying to win. They were exiting. They were trading off their assets to get more money so they can have a nice exit. So I'm seeing all this. I'm like, at one point, I'm like, dude, I'm wasting my time here. So I would call in sick. And the coach would be like, don't worry about it, Ali, don't worry, you don't have to show up today. I'm like, that's crazy. So I call up my strength conditioning coach, turn the car around, go straight to him, 7 o'clock in the morning. I get 2 hours of hard work in, shots up. I was getting more out of that than I was. As long as they weren't fining me and as long as they weren't penalizing me, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Then my 3rd month comes along and they act like, hey, I go, hey, I didn't get paid. They're like, oh, you got to talk to the team that traded you. I'm like, okay. Call them up. Oh, no, Ali, you got to talk to the team that you're with. Throw me back and dude, it was crazy. Whoa. So I played 1 month without getting paid.
Wow.
But not that time. I just kept working. I said, whatever happens, I'm going to be ready for it. Whatever happens, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be more than ready. Right. That was probably the best shape I'd ever been at 35 years old. And so that's the business life. Personal life, I'm all kind of screwed up. I'm just remember that that Jim Carrey movie where he's just saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes to everything. I was saying yes to everything, and I think all those yeses is what I think it was God's way of telling me, hey, you need to slow down.
Okay.
Wow.
Getting back to the whole gunshot incident, I still don't know. Still don't know what happened with that. I do have my suspicions. Ironically enough, some of those people that were involved, I think were inadvertently involved, live in Vegas, interestingly enough.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
be careful, man.
no,
Wow.
they're fine. I mean, I've spoken to them already, or one of them anyway, already.
Okay. Did they confess? I mean, did they own up to it?
Well, they've arrested two. They arrested two guys, right?
No, it wasn't. They weren't. Okay, so the female, right? I think she knows a lot more than what she's on. It's just it's a really when I explain it to you, it's going to sound bad.
Okay.
But what it is we were platonic friends, and I thought that it was a genuine friendship. Was she attractive? Yes, but I didn't cross that line with her.
Right.
She was a courtside reporter, and she would invite me to places. She would invite me, and a couple of times I would drop her off, or wherever. And I think other people got the wrong idea. And what I found out later from investigators was that she had a lot of loose ends. And one of those loose ends had someone following her around and reporting back to him. Right. And I think that's where the order was given. Right.
That's what I remember hearing. I think we talked about this a while back, but I think there was something to that effect that someone outside thought it was more like they were really into her, and they thought that
someone in a position of power, for sure.
Wow. And this was in the parking lot of the arena, right?
Lot of one of the training facilities. I just finished a training session. She was there, and she said that hey, the day before, she goes, hey, you want to come join me, because I'm going to have the camera. I'm the one who introduced her to plyometrics. So we had a few sessions together with my trainer, and she liked it. And it got to a point where she was going there by herself, and then she wanted to do a story on it because she was in the media.
You're right.
So she brought the camera crew down there, and she also invited another athlete, a Filipino-Australian rugby player for the national team. And so we were going through some sessions just to show the camera, and it was nighttime, and she asked if I can walk her back to her car. I walked her to her car, and that was that. She drove off, and when I was wrestling with my bag, driver's side, and when I bent over, that's when I got popped.
Wow, like that close? It was like really close.
Point blank range, 22 to the back of the neck, right here.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, and then
you don't remember anything? Then you just like wake up in the hospital.
No, this is where you're not gonna believe. So I thought it was a joke, because I thought it was one of the athletes coming behind me and slapping me in the back of the neck. I turn around and I look up, I see all this smoke, my ears ringing, and I feel a burning sensation in the back of my neck. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I see a guy tucking something in his waist, running down the hill, trotting down the hill, not running, trotting down the hill. And the way that place is security tightened up after that incident, but a lot of people like to take shortcuts from where they're working through that parking lot. So there's tons of people walking through there. So I couldn't pinpoint exactly who. I saw someone running down the hill. I assumed it was him, but hell, it could have been anybody. And my trainer heard the gunshot. He came outside, and he goes, Ali, I gotta get you. Where's your keys? I gotta get you to the hospital. I go, what do you mean? He goes, dude, you got shot. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, so I reach back there, and I see there's blood. And I think the guy missed because it felt like a graze, but he could see the hole. Wow. And like a few seconds later, blood just starts coming out the back of my neck.
Well, because now you're panicking, right? So the heart, your
yeah,
heart,
I think so. And then things got really, really weird on the way to the hospital, like some supernatural.
And this was 2009, right?
2011.
Oh, 2011.
What do you mean, like
that's right?
Like supernatural.
November 7th, 7 o'clock in the between 7 and 7:30. I'll never forget it. So
November 7th.
This dude's so tough. He gets shot in the head and doesn't even realize it.
Hey, dude. So, man, I gotta get going.
Like, it doesn't hurt the way we see it in the movies.
Yeah,
right.
Like, it feels like it felt like someone took their hand as hard as they could, maybe with a metal object, and hit you as hard as they could. Right. Minus the smoke, because there was smoke there. And in that, Call of Duty, when they throw a grenade at you and you're all
yeah.
I thought that shit was fake. That's real, right?
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And then, so what happens on the way to the hospital?
Well, this is where Reggie. I told you a little bit about this during the pandemic. This is where AJ and I we kind of agreed. We both agreed that we heard a voice. Now, my trainer was driving my car. There was a weekend warrior guy who got in the back seat and gave me his shirt and said, "Put pressure on the back of your neck."
Right.
And I remember it just went dark. Like, I don't want to sound weird.
No.
Dude, no one can relate to this. This is so interesting.
Absolutely. Tell your experience, bro.
It got dark. And this is at nighttime. I understand it was dark, but I mean, I'm saying my eyes were open, but I couldn't see. It was pitch black. I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. Except the lights, someone turned off the light switch, or not even the light switch, the power to the light switch. That's how I felt.
Oh, wow.
And I just remember it dark, man. It was dark. And this goes back to, I wasn't making the best decisions,
Wow.
I didn't realize, I look back on it now because I have a family. I was in a dark place, didn't even realize, I think, when I look back on it. Because the voice I heard was opposite of that dark place.
And what did the voice say?
It was dark. It was dark, man.
The voice was dark?
No, the voice was different.
Oh, the voice was different.
But just, I'm gonna focus on that moment because I thought I was sitting up.
Right.
My trainer later on told me, he said, "No, man, your head was in between your legs." I thought I was sitting up. And he goes, "Do you know what you're saying?" I said, "No." And I didn't ask him until a few months before I left the Philippines for Las Vegas. I said, "What was I saying?" He's like, "God, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please save me." So when he said that, then it all made sense because, dude, I hear a voice. And AJ, when I told AJ this, Reggie, he said, "Yeah, Ali, I heard it." He had an incident, right? In the MRI or something like that. He was getting an MRI. And he was out for a bit.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I heard a voice, dude. And the voice said, if you do what I tell you to do, you're going to make it out of here. What I need you to do, this is verbatim, what I need you to do is focus right now. And then I popped back up, got on the phone, called up my coach, told him exactly who to call. I told him to call my mother's older sister. This is where she lives. This is her number.
And this is all while you still, you're bleeding. You're in transit to the hospital.
Yeah. And then, that was it. Right. And then I got to the ER. walked into the ER on my own. My trainer dropped me off. I walked into the ER. They said, what's wrong? I said, gunshot. Where? I pointed to the back of my neck. And I walked to where I needed to walk to.
Wow.
And they put me in a wheelchair.
Mhm.
And then, you know, that's when my teammates and my family that was there, coaches started to funnel in, because by this time news got out already.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. The whole place, the media was there like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Man,
That is crazy, man.
It's crazy.
I appreciate you sharing that.
It was dark, man.
Man,
wow.
I'm sorry. I'm just, it's so hard for me to hear the story because of our friendship and our relationship and, you know, the love I have for you. I remember talking to you in the hospital. And this was a couple years after Jamoki had taken his life. And so, you know, we're reeling from losing him unexpectedly and how hard that was. Right. And then we get the message, you know, you're in the Philippines, we're here in the States. It's like, we don't know what's going on. We just know Ali got shot in the back of the head. Someone tried to kill him. And then, you know, obviously as time goes on and we're able to talk to you and in the hospital, because Miss Monica called, and that's another friend of ours. And to talk to you and be able to hear your voice, man, it was like, man, it was so relieving. But at a time, it was so hard, right? To think, oh my God, we can't, like, you know, we just lost a friend. I don't want to lose another friend. And once everything was okay, once we realized you were okay and that everything was fine, and you explained that it was, you know, centimeters away from your carotid artery, right? A major artery, and they couldn't remove it at the time, or it's still there, right? Yeah. So, and eventually the body will move it out. But there was a point where after everything was okay and we knew you were okay and everything was fine and we had talked to you, we go, thank God. And then we also go, if there's anybody who could take a bullet to the head and survive, right? It's Ali motherfucking Peak, right?
Wow,
it is
man.
Ali motherfucking
that is
Peak, man.
amazing.
It's amazing, man. I love you so much, man.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this. Thanks for sharing everything you shared, man.
Man, thank you. And we're gonna have to bring you back because there's more. But I think, I don't know if we can. I mean, the fact that you got shot, you heard the voice, you sat up, you walked into the hospital, you told them what it was. That level of consciousness, that level of control.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
Right? Like, it's amazing, man.
I'm not Reggie, I'm not even bullshitting you, man.
I know, 100%, man. Man, I think we gotta stop.
You can't follow that. That's it, baby.
Yeah, we gotta stop there. That's it.
That's it, dude. We can't follow that.
You can't follow that, right? That's it.
Holy shit, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I'm so happy you're here, brother. I love you to death, man. You're phenomenal, dude.
That is an honor to meet you, man. It's an honor to meet you, Ali.
Yeah. Appreciate it. I really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man. All right, man.
Whew.
I'm gonna have to hit you up because you and I got to talk about some stuff off air, right?
We don't have to, but okay. I mean,
no.
I mean,
Ali, how about
you
that?
talk about the phone sex videos. That'll be fun. You guys get some laughs off that.
So, man, thank you so much for sharing, Ali.
Thank you, guys.
Phenomenal story, phenomenal
thank
journey.
You.
I said the same thing I said in the text message, man. It's a journey of perseverance, determination, dedication, discipline, hard work. I know you personally, man. I love you. You're a phenomenal guy. And to listen to your journey, to hear from the beginning, your influence from being influenced by Magic Johnson, and then coming and starting a thing that by all intents and purposes was very late in life, right? For considering you show up at 12, right? Don't play organized basketball until your first year of high school, still able to earn a scholarship, to go on to college, to have your ups and downs, the pitfalls, the road bumps, or whatever it may be, then to make it to the professional ranks and to have a 16-year career, 6-time champion, 5-time All-Star, to become an analyst. And at one point, and we didn't even talk about this, but at one point, I think you were an ambassador for the NBA and the PBA, right?
No.
Oh, no, you didn't do it. Okay. Well, even still, though, for the things that you've been able to accomplish and where you are in your life and what you're doing, man, I'm so proud of you, man. I love you to death. I'm so happy you took the time today to spend this with us and share with us. I can't wait for them to hear this story. Man,
they're so honest too, man. I
so
appreciate
honest, man.
it. It was so cool.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
no, of course.
Brother. Damn, I love you, man. I'll be in touch.
Love you too.
Have a
brother.
great day, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Ollie.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Hey, good to meet you, Sal. Good to meet you.
Yeah, you too, sir. You too.
All right, my brother.
All right. Peace, man. Later. Okay.
Wow, Reggie.
Wow.
Wow. You were gonna try to talk about the bullet story? That's amazing.
I was. It's just that, like, I'm gonna be late now.
Mary's, y'all hatred for Coach Kent took you off the rails.
I know. I was thinking that maybe we could have brought him back and done it because I knew that story. But
we got too far. We'll break it up. It's fine.
Yeah, he wrapped it up really well. Like he
it was
went
good.
That
was good.
So.
And the way you did it about him taking it, like no one else could take it to the head. Like that's crazy, man.
Dude,
I mean, that 22 is a smaller gun, but point blank in the back of the head,
point blank range, bro. And to be like what?
What happened?
Dude.
Oh,
yeah,
that is
it's phenomenal.
Story,
phenomenal, man.
Insane.
Love this dude.
All right, buddy. Well, wrap us up.
Okay.
I know you got to go.
Yeah, I got to get going. Hey, but for everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I want to thank Ali Peak for being so honest and open with us and sharing his story and his journey and his his trials and tribulations, right? So big ups to him for that. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, and subscribe. We love doing it. We're going to keep doing it.
All right, don't donate on the Instagram.
And donate on the Instagram, whatever you're talking about. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin.
Peace.
Peace.